Alrighty then. Well, it's been a while, and I apologize for my appearance. I've been on the road for, well, since June 1st, basically. Anyway, I am going up to D.C. to look at a boat. Hopefully it pans out. It looks good, from what I've seen so far, and the only thing is that it needs rigged, which is going to be about 10 grand or something like that. Hopefully not too much more. Which will get next. Anyway, there was another shooting today, and I wanted to talk about that. I've been trying to get CNN or somebody to interview me so I can pass on what I know to Americans before I leave. Because when I get to Sweden and I get before the international press, I am going to warn them. I'm going to warn the world about America. I mean, this is a dangerous country. This is a dangerous situation. We have the most powerful weaponry on the planet. We are the most immature nation. We're a nation of children. Children with toys that could blow up the world 12 times over, or whatever it is. It's crazy. Anyway, the reason these shootings are going on has a lot to do with this 2012 bullshit, but that's only a part of it. The real onus, the real reason, the real problem is moral development, and the fact that we're all slaves. The basic argument to the notion that we're slaves is that, okay, all things aside, capitalism is, in its essence, breaks down to just this simple statement. Capitalism is the notion that we, as a society, give our resources to the most greedy. Those resources include not only our natural resources and our mineral and other resources, but it includes labor. And we, who are not capitalists, are labor. So we have given ourselves to the greedy people. So if we've given ourselves as labor to the most greedy to do with as they wish, then that makes us their slaves. And when a slave, when any of us, doesn't like our boss, the capitalists, there's nothing we can do about it. We rebel. And it's simply, I'm sorry to say this, a justified reaction. Let me say that again. It's a justified reaction. Shooting innocent people is not good. But it is not the fault of the person doing the shooting. It's your fault. It's our fault. It's everyone's fault. We are slaves. We don't know what's going on. We don't realize what's going on. If you want to blame somebody, blame psychologists. I'm sorry, but they have responsibility for our health, mental health, and they are failing miserably at their job. But you can't really blame them either. The blame lies with capitalism, period. There is no other blame. Capitalism, the idea of a society giving all of its resources to its most greedy. I mean, when you think of it that way, it's pretty frickin' obvious that it's stupid, isn't it? I mean, but the reason we have it is because somebody named Adam Smith, or actually somebody misinterpreted it. Adam Smith said that the guiding hand principle, the notion is that anybody acting to benefit themselves will benefit society. Again, this is a majorly flawed argument. It's a hierarchical relationship. A part of a whole, when benefited, cannot benefit the whole. Period. A whole, when benefited, benefits the individual, the part. You can't have it both directions. Benefits the individual does not necessarily benefit society, unless it benefits the individual from outside society. But what is the possibility of that happening? More likely, 360 million times more likely, I would say, that the benefit will come from other people in society. So benefiting an individual working to benefit themselves is at the detriment to society, not the benefit. This is important. capitalism, the idea of capitalism, what we were sold on in 1776 by Adam Smith, or later when it was misinterpreted by greedy market capitalists, was the argument was that an individual acting to benefit himself will benefit society. This couldn't be more wrong, because the actual truth is much more likely that an individual benefiting himself or herself will be at the detriment of society. So they claim, those economists, by the way, actually, I said psychologists are to blame. No. Economists are more to blame, because economists are in charge of the discipline which includes the economy, which is supposed to take care of society. They're kind of neglecting that whole part. We need to resolve that. So these economists say to us that the guiding hand says that an individual acting to benefit himself will in turn benefit society. No. An individual acting for himself will act to the detriment of society, will benefit himself at cost to society. Proof? We talked about this just now, just before. Well, actually, I didn't get that posted, so I'll talk about it now. Profit. This is my proof. Profit. Here's a question you've never heard. Ever. I guarantee it. Where does profit come from? I'll restate that. Where does profit come from? It doesn't just magically appear. A car dealer charging $24,583 for a Ford Explorer in 1994 paid $10,504, I think 69 cents. This is from a study my brother, what do you call it when you embezzle, the embezzler, embezzled 400 grand. Good job, Dana. Anyway, sorry, I lost track. I hate to mention. Profit comes from loss. So this dealer that charged $25,000 for a $10,500 Ford Explorer in 1994 made 15 grand. That's more than 100%. That's profit. That means that you, somewhere out there, is the person that bought that Ford Explorer for $25,000. You lost 15 grand. You lost $15,000. You spent $15,000 more than you needed to for that Ford Explorer. It costs society, well, it costs society a hell of a lot less than it cost Ford to make the $10,000 Explorer. It probably costs society, actually, the costs to society are probably more like $70,000 or $80,000. But it's difficult to talk when you do things in terms of money, because money has no real value. It only has equivalent value if we give it. But this profit loss thing, people don't understand this. The economy profits, society loses. This is a fact. You talk to any reputable, Krugman, Paul Krugman, the economist. You talk to, I guess his name is Cook. I think there's an economist named Cook who does a blog. You talk to any reputable economist that isn't someone with their head so far up their asses as to think that Adam Smith is still relevant. Try a Keynesian economist, perhaps, maybe, or someone who doesn't believe in that kind of crap, who just, and they will confirm that profits are only had by companies, by corporations mostly, and that losses are therefore only incurred by the market. This is not supply and demand. This is not supply side or demand side economics. This is corporate control of your life through money. Your life, everything about it is controlled by anonymous people you've never met, who've never met you. They run your life. And they run your life because you let them. because we have decided that capitalism is the way to go. Alright, and I think for the first time, I think it might be for the first time, I'm going to offer a solution. An immediate solution that you yourself can participate in. That'll work a lot better when everyone else does, but you yourself can benefit. Because what I'm going to tell you to do is to do the same thing I've been doing for the last probably 25, 30 years. Don't participate in the corporate economy. Don't work for a corporation. Don't buy from a corporation. Don't do any business with a corporation if you can help it. Eliminate all of them. Yes, I know this means your cell phone. Make that the last thing, because I still have one. The only things I have bought from a corporation in recent years were parts to build my computer. You cannot say that my laptop was purchased from a corporation because it was a rebuild, so it was secondhand. Although I did buy it from Tiger Direct or CompUSA or whatever the heck it was. And this camera that I'm recording this on and the accessories for it were purchased new. So I did purchase them from a corporation, although it is a Japanese corporation. They're not so evil as American corporations. Because I purchased a product for which I paid equivalent value. I paid $2,000 for my camera, and it was worth $2,000. At least the $2,000 that I had at the time. That's basically the only thing I've done to participate in the corporate economy. I've never bought a new car. Yes, I buy insurance. Yes, I have a cell phone. I can't help that. That's because we've given control of everything to corporations, to private enterprise. So what I'm trying to say is that you can survive. Not only can you survive, but you can do damn well. I haven't had income since 2002. No income. Lived off financial aid for until 2008, and then for 2 years I lived on $339 a month when I could get it, which was about eight months out of the year. And then I lived for 2 years with no income. Nothing. Zero. Well, $200 a month, food stamps. And my rent was, most of my rent was paid. Actually, all of it was at that time. So aside from having $200 a month for food and my rent paid for, I was still able to drive around. I was still able to enjoy myself. I was still able to go to conventions, which is a pretty expensive venture sometimes. I was able to do all these things without buying anything from Walmart, ever. Without buying anything from Safeway or any of those other corporate shitholes. So yeah, it's possible. And it's not only possible, but I get better quality goods than you get. They last longer and they're less expensive. So I've lived better by not participating in the corporate economy. You can do the same. Quit your job if you work at a corporation. Work for a private company. If there aren't any jobs at private companies, start a private company. Don't buy from corporations. Nothing. I mean, the less you buy from corporations, the better off you will be. I know you can't get cell phone service from a non-corporate entity because there are no non-corporate entities. That's our fault for letting private corporations, private enterprise, have public resources. Anyway, I'm tired. Really tired. And I will be out of here in about 3 weeks, I think, barring whatever happens with other stuff. But anyway, good luck out there. I have a very bad feeling that while I'm on this voyage, that World War III is going to break out, and I think you people are going to do something really stupid. But I'm going to try and play up this 2012 thing, because 2012, the Mayan calendar, doesn't say it's the end of the world. The Mayan calendar actually says that whoever their god, the creator god is going to come back and set things right. Restart everything. I don't believe in fate. I don't believe in destiny. I don't believe in predictions like that. Or what do you any of those kinds of things, doomsday, any of those kind of predictions, fate or any of that. But looks like for all intents and purposes I'm that foretold thing that's going to come down and make everything right. And it's a lot on my shoulders. And that's why I'm sharing it with you, so I don't have to bear it alone. Anyway, stop buying from corporations. Stop working for corporations. Stop being a slave. And hold your public servants accountable, please.